Junior Rotax final.
Yes. That is due to begin very shortly. As I say that, there is your green flag.
Quick rundown.
Yep, quick rundown.
Quick rundown. Lewis Sumner and Eric Smith. No surprise to see Lewis on the pole position. They're the front row. Riley Bishop and Braith Murdoch are on row 2. Row 3 is Kevin Ivanoff and Amy Peacock. Adam Juditis and George Cole are next up. Row 5, Isabella Stanswell Wilson and Alfie Lambert. Ralphie Branscombe and Henry Cameron are on row 6. Thomas Harper and JJ Plowman are on row 7. Row 8, Oliver Fabricius and Ellis Daly. Then we've got Jack Robinson and Connor Large, Laurie McVeigh and Charlie Vary, with Daniel Hartley, the current reigning junior primo champion, on 21st with Lewis Holt alongside on the 11th row. Jack Harrison, James Taylor next, with Shea Hilton, Daniel Butcher, Marissa Teague, Hagriva Gogolnath are next up. In 29th is Harry Headley. Then we've got Riley Mason Lewis, Matt Scott and Zach Kane. We should have 32 karts out there, Henry.
We have 30. So all 32 have. That's a nice thing, because sometimes you see 33 or 32 drivers in junior Rotax on the entry. 2 long days of racing with qualifying heats, super heats, and of course, this being a championship that is open to everybody, and which tries to allow privateers and smaller teams to do a national championship. You don't tend to always get all 32 drivers to this point
for various reasons.
For various reasons, whether engines, chassis, drivers have broken. One of those 3 components. Occasionally the patience of a parent or 2, but we've got full house.
I came here, Henry, asking who can beat Riley Bishop at round 3, because nobody could beat him at round 1 and nobody could beat him at round 2. He's got a maximum finish in the finals, but he's starting on the second row, and at the moment we've got an X-Kart 1-2 with Riley Bishop.
False start.
False start. It says it there. I don't know why I don't look at that. I'm too busy looking at the cards.
Well, there was a driver in the middle. I mean, for those of you watching, sometimes a driver, they put your hand in the air and you sort of swing your finger around and around in a circular motion. That means we're going around again.
Yeah.
But no one can see visually. Why I'm doing it in the commentary box, I do not know.
Because you're talking to me.
It's
you're talking to me. I know what you're talking about.
But I even described it, saying what it would do.
I know.
So I didn't say, if you do that, which is a great joke, great visual joke for radio. There we go. Anyways. Second time of asking. Riley Bishop. Well, you asked the question, who could beat Riley Bishop? The contenders have come out of the woodwork just for this round. Sumner, Smith, Murdoch. What about Ivanov and Peacock? Outsiders for the win, yes. But this is junior Rotax, and anything can happen.
Anything can happen, and it's Riley Bishop's Lewis Sumner teammate that leads the field away, and he gets jumped at the start from Eric Smith, who leads up the hill. It's that outside line again into turn 1, and he hangs onto it into Spoon. Eric Smith will lead into Spoon for the first time. And this field, I think everybody's got through there, Henry.
We're going to hold our breath. There's a bit of a concertina effect in the middle of the pack, but everybody does get through Spoon cleanly. Now the carousel, still everybody on the prepared surface. Now down the hill, and of course you're scanning your eye. There's 1-2-1-2, Ralphie Branscombe.
Ralphie.
Another one of the Kiddix carts. Ralphie gets himself back underway, so he is not up to speed, sadly, is Ralphie Branscombe. Last year's British Honda Cadet champion will be the first retirement.
Yeah, here in junior Rotax for the first year. It's great to have him along. Eric Smith controlling the pace at the front. Nobody in any kind of showing any urgency to get by because of the nature of Glan Y Gors. It's not necessarily an advantage to be leading into that last lap, is it? You want to kind of time it, and with these 10 minutes and 1 lap are our finals here this weekend. And this train of what is 6 cars now developing, and it's a bit of a high-speed management game.
Yes. Now, in the previous race, we saw Ultimate R driver Ayres, no, not Hudson Brown, Elliot Dalton Ayres.
He was with Hunter Motorsport.
Hunter Motorsport, sorry. He timed the start perfectly from the outside of row number 1. Now we have to wait and see, as we have got a new leader. Lewis Sumner has just passed Eric Smith, because that was what I was going to say. I was going to say Smith did the same. Got the jump at the start. Was it very good or too good? We're keeping one eye on the penalty screen here in our commentary box.
Nothing's popped up yet.
So far, so good for Eric Smith, who has lost the lead. But, you know, even if it's where he is, he's just starting to get a penalty no matter where you are running at the time. And we've got a 6-kart breakaway. Riley Bishop being the 4th of these 6 karts. Smith having a little nibble on the inside of Sumner going through. And I wouldn't count out that number 217 kart, the black and red machine, 5th in the row, in the line, Amy Peacock.
The problem with Spoon is you've got a late apex, and that's what Eric Smith had a look at. The door was wide open, and when he went through it, he was unfortunately, as the leader, Lewis Sumner, turned in, Smith had to put his kart on the curb, and it kind of upset the balance a little bit. He settled back in now, and Lewis Sumner, we saw what Lewis Sumner did in the second superheat. My mind has gone blank for the first superheat, but he was very hard to beat, remember?
Yep.
And he was very hard to follow, in fact, and now he's got where he wants to be.
Oh, problem, sorry. That was, Riley Bishop up over the back bumper of Braith Murdoch, and that has ripped Murdoch's exhaust off. So, I'm sorry, Joy, just caught it out of, as you came up there. Now, just behind there, watch Bishop vaults up over the back of the Cato Motorsport kart, and that puts Murdoch out of it, and it gives Sumner and Smith a large advantage. It puts Riley Bishop under the microscope, as it were. They'll be looking to review that, championship leader.
And remember, if you hit somebody hard with the front of your kart,
you get
the chances of the nose drop coming as well.
And that could give Amy Peacock a chance. Amy Peacock and Kevin Ivanov, they are doing extremely well. Ivanov especially. Peacock, she's finally just showing the speed in the main event. Luck has not been on her side in the main events so far. But she is there now. Can she get onto the podium?
Well, she's only got to get past one kart. She might not even have to pass that kart if the stewards look at that. I mean, it was more of a trip over one another, wasn't it, than a deliberate act. And, you know, that's sometimes, you know, what happens in racing. They're so close at this point here at Spoon a couple of laps ago, and, you know, you're accelerating out the corner. If somebody gets delayed ever so slightly, you're going to end up over the back of him, and that's what happened. And I'm pretty sure, and I'm trying to see whether or not the nose on that X-kart of Riley Bishop is dropped or is flopping about. I mean, they run them pretty low, don't they, Henry? Yeah. And it looks all right to me. It looks all right.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. But of course, and that, Joe, I've seen like more contact from an actual overtaking move. That wasn't even an attempted pass.
That's right.
That was just unfortunate, with two drivers trying to take two separate lines, and one cut across the other, and it just sort of clipped them and helped him ride up over the back and just wiped out the two springs holding the exhaust. And you saw the end result. And
you can't continue without an exhaust on a two-stroke. The exhaust creates the back pressure that helps with the combustion, and you can go too lean and blow the engine.
I mean, without wanting to stir the pot, as it were, we were talking about Bishop not being quite at the races in terms of how fast he is this weekend compared to how fast he's been the first two weekends. Braith Murdoch was second in the championship.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, he was second in the championship.
Yeah, and he's got a DNF now, 2 fourths. Yeah. 2 fourths in the finals at round 1 and 2. So Braith Murdoch is going to. This will end up his drop score, won't it?
I'm sure it will.
I'm sure it will.
Who's third in the championship? Marcel Poppercourt.
Who's not here,
which is a strange one. Is third in the points standing.
Marcel is a Cato driver, isn't he?
Yes.
Cato Motorsport here in strength as ever. So we've got 3.5 minutes and 1 lap remaining. We've got Lewis Sumner off and away. Eric Smith is still in second place. Pulled a bit of a gap to Riley Bishop. The number 238 is Lewis Sumner. There's the number 219, Eric Smith. And then a little bit behind these two, that's the white X-Kart of Riley Bishop, who's pulled away a little bit from Kevin Ivanoff, who's just got ahead of Amy Peacock. So Amy's plan to get on the podium is gone a little bit awry, and she's going to have to get past that kart there with the blue helmet, Kevin Ivanoff.
And let's not take anything away from Ivanoff, because you could see the back end of that cosmic kart starting to wander about ever so slightly. And that's because Ivanov, well, this time last year, he was in Honda. In fact, Ivanov was still in Honda in October last year, when I commentated at
Honda Cadet
at Three Sisters. And so, you know, to go from that to this in the space of 6 months, 7, 8 months, yeah, it's a long time, you get lots of laps. But, you know, the
completely different karts, aren't they?
Yes. And of course,
power, grip, everything.
If you're as these youngsters grow, you know, Kevin mentally might be able to do 100 laps in one of these, but his body
for a long time
might not want it.
Well, for a long time, Henry, before we had before Michael Max hasn't been out that long, and neither has Intermax. Before those two, that was the transition. You went from Honda Cadets into Rotax.
Yes. And
or an IAMI, of course.
And spent the first 6 months of the year
with your neck flopping around.
With your neck flopping about, and with a lot of expensive repair bills when you got beaten about in the car and some cracked ribs.
So it's no surprise. I mean, everything. It will have taken Kevin, a few laps to get used to the different speed, but more importantly, the amount of grip.
And
the amount of grip. These karts will corner through a corner like this one here, and you can see the bodies flopping around and leaning to the left. It basically it's trying to throw you out the kart, the centrifugal force. They grip amazingly well.
And of course, if you look at Ivanov in the kart itself, you know, he's using a lot more steering. He's driving that kart a lot harder than Peacock. So you can see a great view there. I mean, Peacock, a little bit of oversteer there, coming out of the carousel. But Ivanov, he's all arms. He is fighting and hanging on, because now we're into this. It's only an extra 2 minutes. That is a long time when your body has decided that it wants to have a rest.
Yeah,
and you can't until the checkered flag comes out.
Yeah.
But there's no resting for this driver. Up front, Lewis Sumner. Now, Alfie Lambert has had a 5-second penalty.
He's down the order, isn't he?
So do you know what? For the second race in succession, the driver on the outside of the front row has got the jump on the pole sitter, but has timed their jump perfectly.
Yeah, and you need to be looking at that, don't you? If you're going to come here and race, you've got to be looking at that, and it's the momentum you can carry around the outside. It's a tighter line, obviously, through turn one. As we get Lewis Sumner, we'll see that ever-welcome last lap board. He's on his final lap. He's been certainly the driver to beat this weekend in Junior Rotax. He's had a lot of challenges, hasn't he? Eric Smith, Riley Bishop, they've come and they've gone, and he is now on that X kart, so it'll be the TB kart. And just remind me to remind everybody about the raffle when we get this checkered flag, because we've got Lewis Sumner, who gets towards the final stages of his weekend, not just his race, not just this Junior Rotax final, but of round 3 of the Junior Rotax Kart Championship. And here we go, 2 more corners, this corner, and it's X-Kart and TB karts that take the win, with Lewis Sumner, the driver, aboard. Eric Smith takes second, Riley Bishop takes third, Kevin Ivanoff, Amy Peacock, George Cole, Adam Judaitis, Oliver Fabricius, Isabella Stansmore Wilson with a top 10, Henry Cameron with a top 10, and JJ Plowman for ST Racing just outside that top 10 in 11th.